Welcome. I'm Janine Clegg with Threads Magazine, and I'm joined by our guest, Karolyn Kiisel. Karolyn, thank you for joining us. Karolyn is a Los Angeles-based author, designer, and educator. Karolyn, it's nice to have you. We'd like to get started asking you a couple of questions just to get to know you. And I'm just going to launch right into it. Our first question is, how did you learn to sew?
I was one of four daughters, and my mother sewed all of our clothes when we were young. And so I started right in with her scraps and bits and pieces making doll clothes, and moved on to string bikinis and whatever I could, and started working with patterns as I grew up. So I was always surrounded by sewing.
Awesome. Well, what is a technique you've never tried, but you would like to take on?
I have been thinking a lot about felting. I've been recently obsessed with alpacas because in my book, I talk about sustainability, and it turns out alpacas are super sustainable. So I have my little alpaca fiber here. And I've, some of my students once did this whole project with the felting, the needle felting. So I was given all this alpaca fiber. So I'm studying alpaca fiber and how I might work with that with needle felting. I'm excited about that.
That is exciting, and we are looking forward to hearing more about your book, which we can discuss in our upcoming podcast, Sewing with Threads podcast. Let me just move on to the next question, which is, what aspect of design do you enjoy teaching the most?
I have written 2 books now on draping, so I have to say draping. I've taught for 25 years, and I feel like draping is the skill that really helps the students to define their own aesthetic and quickly be able to put garments together. So I enjoy watching the students develop their own look and their own signature style, which I think happens with draping.
It is so interesting to watch how different people interpret it. And I'm sure you've come to it as well from a different perspective. So it's nice that you're offering that to them as well as they're learning. What has been your favorite design project ever?
Working with Cirque du Soleil designer Dominique Lemieux has been such a high point in my life. She was one of the 3 original founders of Cirque du Soleil, 25 years ago or something. And we did 2 projects with her at Otis College of Art and Design. And she came into our classroom, several times, and she was doing some fittings. And she said to this one student, "Ooh, the energy is very, ooh, we want the energy to be woo, like this. So point your collar up like woo." And it was just a wake up moment for me because I had never heard designers talk about energy in terms of clothes. You talk about attitude or look, but she would always talk about the energy in the clothes and how you want the energy, how you're expressing energy in the clothes. So I really loved that. And of course, she was incredibly creative. And we did these wild, amazing costumes based on the Tarot deck. So it was a real highlight.
Oh, wow. That's great. In hindsight, what is some sewing advice you wish you knew when you started to sew?
Okay, I do have one, which is I did learn how to sew by buying commercial patterns. And I used to take a lot of shortcuts because I was trying to finish clothes to wear to the football game or wear somewhere. And my advice is to learn the classic methods. They're always something you can rely on. So those patterns show you how to make a facing or how to understitch or how to clip and all those things. Yes, you can put a waistband on a skirt by just gathering it up and zigzagging a piece of grosgrain ribbon around it. But to learn how to do the classic methods is really something you can fall back on and rely on, especially if you're working with trickier fabrics or more complex styles. So I think that's my piece of advice, is to really try to learn those classic methods.
And where would you recommend they learn those? Should they go to typical classes?
A lot of them are in those patterns. The basic stuff is in those patterns. Also, Lawrence King, my publisher, has an amazing book, Couture Sewing Methods by Claire Schaefer, which, there's lots of books out there with, and I'm sure Reading Threads magazine has lots of those tips and
We
ways
do
of
have
doing
those.
things. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Sure. Nice to be here.